Syracuse in front with the shots on net, 5-2 early on. Shot the other way, that one's sent wide by Hatch. Good effort by Sorella. You just mentioned her, Gino.
She's dangerous. Not that time.
RMU's defense does a nice job of getting the clear. And that's kind of been the story of the game so far. Syracuse's offense putting pressure. They've scored one so far. It was Tatum White. And now we have an offsides against Madison Primo as she entered the zone. Speaking of Maggie Hatch, she's been extremely busy. Had her work cut out for her so far early on in this one.
Yeah, I mean, the first shot that Syracuse has is a goal from Tatum White, but, you know, Hatch settled in pretty nicely so far in this first period. We'll see if she can continue to do so.
Had her third game with 40 or more saves last time out against Penn State. And she, unfortunately for RMU, has had a lot of pressure based on the lack of offense from the Colonials.
Yeah, and Hatch, just a redshirt sophomore. This goalie unit for RMU is pretty young, Nico. And, you know, we talked with head coach Logan Biddle for RMU, and he said that, you know, the goalies have come a long way in terms of just developing and trusting the process, and he can trust in his goaltenders to play well every game.
So we'll come back the other way with the icing call. Hatch also had the start against Syracuse in RMU's loss to Syracuse last year. The Orange dropped 3 of 4 to the Colonials, but took the last game here a season ago, and Hatch made 40 of 42 saves, so she is used to that high volume of shots.
And both these teams, even this season, Nico, are pretty evenly matched, I would say, just in terms of the low scoring, the block shot totals. Both these teams are just nitty-gritty teams that will beat you in maybe 3-goal games.
Evans lays it down, gets it back, shoots on net. That one's wide. Here's D'Elia. That one tries to get sent in back to Evans. She goes to get it at far boards. RMU trying to get going after Syracuse took the opening score from Tatum White. But what have you seen from the Orange defense so far as Tervanen's sprinting her way down to try and get that turnover?
Yeah, so far, you know, both teams are still trying to figure each other out, Nico. And as a result, you're not going to get a whole lot of set plays yet. Both teams just kind of going back and forth. As you can see, the shots on goal disparity. Not a whole lot of shots approaching the halfway point of this frame, as a long tie-up along the glass. Both teams just have to kind of get used to each other. I kind of expected this in the opening moments of this first period, trying to find ways to put pucks on net and create chances.
Here's Smolin, shoots, scores. Lindsay Smolin gets RMU on the board, and the sophomore has her first goal of the season.
First point too, Nico. What a shot. Through traffic again, similar to the Tatum White goal we saw earlier, with just a great high-rising shot. Allie Kelly didn't really see it until it was too late, right over the blocker's shoulder and in. And now we got a tied game.
Well, the sophomore Smolin ties it up. A couple of offensive action here early on in the first period. Smolin from Crystal Lake, Illinois, just outside of Chicago, and she gets her team on the board. Gino, we talked at the top of the broadcast about the versatility of the Syracuse offense. Well, how about RMU adding another person that hasn't scored a goal yet this season?
RMU with 11 sophomores this season. Look out here.
Sorella takeaway, shoots it on net. Good save by Hatch. Off the right arm of Maggie Hatch, and she stays strong for the Colonials. Syracuse, another opportunity. That one's backhanded in, saved by Hatch. Maggie Hatch has kept RMU afloat here in the first.
Nico, this is what Syracuse does so well. Forechecking, causing turnovers, and creating havoc. And that's how they're going to have to score goals if they want to beat teams. That's their bread and butter. If they want to beat teams, they have to continue to create that pressure, cause turnovers, and get shots in tight like they just did.
Well, Chung had a couple of chances, and now Darcy sends it in. SU all over the net. They're trying to get some more shots on goal. You mentioned it a couple of minutes ago, maybe the lack of shot attempts so far, and Syracuse has been trying to punch it home again since that Tatum White goal.
And both goaltenders are just so talented, Nico. You just have to put good shots and a lot of shots on goal to beat them.
Syracuse back in its O zone. Haley Trudeau trying to take possession for Syracuse. Now it comes out to Sardine.
You got out of the orange there on the end boards.
so focused on the players moving around the ice, and then you got Otto dancing in the background with some distraction as icing goes down the other way. Oh, Gino, you're a man full of laughter, I will say, my man.
I just love seeing Otto, always with the school spirit, as you mentioned, the dancing. You know, not a whole lot to be dancing about just yet, Nico. We just started not too long ago, and plus it's a tied game at 1 apiece. But you know, just always bringing that energy, and I love that. I try to be like that too, Nico. Energy
spreads, and the holiday season's coming up, which I know you're excited about. So
yeah, I like the holidays. Love seeing familiar faces.
Well, the Orange were ecstatic early on. Tatum White had her 4th goal of the season, and then RMU just tied it up a couple of minutes ago thanks to Lindsey Smolin's 1st goal of the year. And that's where we stand right now, a 1-1 tied contest. First of 2 games this weekend between Syracuse and RMU.
And the one thing, Nico, that Syracuse has to try and counteract is when Smolin gets her 1st point of the season off that goal, you could hear how loud RMU's bench was. They're pumped up. They're excited that one of their younger players has gotten involved in the scoring for the first time this season as a delayed call against RMU. And so Syracuse has to do a good job of taking that momentum back.
Quick shot on net goes wide by McLeod. And that comes all the way out. Syracuse will get some fresh players on the ice as they try to make another effort on net. And Coach Biddle is livid.
Darcy and Phillips getting into a little bit of a pushing match. Maya Darcy was skating from one end of the ice to the other, and as she tried to chip the puck to herself, kind of got stomped right at the blue line. Darcy didn't like it, gave a couple of shoves back, and head coach Biddle wanted a call that would put one of RMU players and Syracuse players in the box, but it looks like it'll just be a power play for the Orange coming up. Not on that play, but from a few moments ago.
Well, after this timeout, Syracuse will go on the power play, but here's a look at our first couple goals of the game. There is Smolin's 1st of the year, and then before that, Syracuse's Tatum White snuck that one in.